halfway through my senior year, back in my high school delinquent days. I had a squad of about 3 to 4 boys, and we just sit back, do drugs, have some fun. Now, for privacy reasons, I'm gonna call them Gabe and Kevin. Now, every weekend we manage to find our way in some type of event, and with this weekend, it was no exception. We found our way into this neighborhood party on this Friday afternoon, and since, of course, football season had ended, Friday afternoon turned into just a chill event type of deal instead of, the crazy Friday night lights that it used to be. Not tonight, though. It was anything but. Now, back then I was driving this nice, sexy blue Mustang, and of course, we're going to pop out to the party in the Mustang, so we pull up in the nice whip. Now, of course, I'm going to be the designated driver because it's my car. I'm not going to let anybody else drive my car. It's my car, that's it. That's a big no-no waiting to happen. I don't want to have to come after any of my friends, so I'm going to be the designated driver for the night and pretty much most any other night. I really don't drink much anyways, so, might as well. And when I do drink, I'm just going to Uber around. Now, I'm fine with being designated driver if I don't have to, drink. As long as everybody's going to the same spot. But if I have to, drop this person here, there, that's too much. I ain't doing all that. Now, this night in particular, I don't really expect to get laid. Nevertheless, my first, 2-man mission. That was kind of what made these nights so crazy. You never really knew what was going to happen going into each night that would, leave you going wow, what the hell? Now, for this night, me, my boy, Gabe, and Kevin, we go to the party, and it starts off like any other. You're going around the room, seeing who you're doing your circle, taking a lap. Now, we came across one of our boys who isn't a big figure in any story, so I'm just going to kind of name drop them. We linked up with our boys Isaiah and Andres. Now, we got us some jungle juice after the fact. They led us to right where that jungle juice was. Very good. If any high school party, jungle juice, you're just big bucket of just any alcohol. Like a Gatorade cooler most of the time. Just any alcohol, liquors, wines, just all in this fucking big thing here. And it's just all mixed together. It's called jungle juice because it's crazy. And it tastes like crap, but hey, it got you drunk, and as a high schooler, that's basically what you're looking for. Now, at the functions, I don't really like being inside too much, especially on a crayon function. So if I have an option of being outside, I'm going to be outside. Inside's always a little more crowded, getting packed up, and honestly, the inside of this function was a little bit lame. Music wasn't bumping, people were just grinding up on each other. I'm like, nah, I'm cool on that. So I actually pull up to the backyard with the boys. We're all hanging out there. They even have a little ping pong table. Vibes are 20 times better than they are on the inside immediately. And, we get right to where the second we see that ping pong table, we start banging on them. Now, I've never played ping pong before in my life, and honestly, these people were kind of teaching me how to do it as it was my first try. So I was kind of just watching my boys play, watching them kind of go at their round first, and then after they finished their round, we went to get a drink, and that's where we met up with these girls we went to school with. One of them I had in one of my other classes, and I was saucing up this other girl in that class, but I did peep her peeping me, saucing up the other girl. We're gonna call this girl R in this instance. She had some nice blonde hair, and her friends were gonna call E, which was light skin, and J, which was a nice spicy brown skin girl. Now, we all hit it off pretty quick, quick enough for us to forget that, we were going back inside to get a second round of drinks, and we actually gravitate back towards the ping pong table, which actually was just one of those regular tables you use at a Thanksgiving cookout. And we just had the red cups lined up, got back to work. Not gonna lie, I was next to go in line, but I let my boy Kevin and Isaiah play because me and Andres and Gabe, we were actually, chatting up the ladies. We were kind of spitting some games, so we were like, hey, you guys played a game, we're gonna be busy over here. And it gets to a point where I pull Art to the side, and I'm like, we're gonna vibe one-on-one type deal. And by the time we're on that same mental wavelength, I guess you could say, Kevin and Isaiah, they finished their game of ping pong. And at this point, I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna beat you now. It's my turn. I've never played before. Like I said, my first time, but I'm like, hey, I got a drink in me. I'm sitting with Shorty here. Fuck it, I'm gonna beat you typing. I'm a competitive guy when it comes to that type of stuff. Now, I was green at the end of the day. Not gonna lie, I was green light on that. And when I look over to my boy Gabe, he's chatting it up with E, the light-skinned girl, for a good bit. And they actually have a good bit of history. So I know he was green too. Now, Mr. Kevin, on the other hand, he was chatting it up with the boys the whole time instead of chopping it up with Jay. That nice, spicy, brown-skinned girl. And even though I don't think, like, she was rocking with him, like, as, like, an attraction, like, hey, at least make the effort, go say what's up type of deal. Better to get rejected than never shoot the shot at all, But, she was still, like, hanging around with her friends, like, still having a good time for sure. She wasn't having, like, a bad time or nothing. Now, at the start of my ping pong game with R, I'm losing. Of course, it's my first time. I'm immediately losing. But my L was kind of short-lived because I just see everybody just book it. Just start running. And that either means one of two things. Either guns and beef or the cops. Which at most of these parties, it was going to be the cops. Come on, we ain't in the trenches like that. It's going to be the cops. Now, it was going to be one of those neighborhood houses on the corner. So you actually saw the cops pull up alongside the corner. And that actually thrusted everybody to book it when you saw them on the corner. Now, R grabs my hand, leads me out. And I'm going to run out myself, but dude, at the end of the day, I'm like, yes, ma'am, lead me. Where are we going? I'll follow you type deal. You grab my hand, I'm following you. And eventually we all pull up outside. Cops aren't arresting people. They just want people to dip type deal. So we all meet up after the fact. Andres and Isaiah, they're like, hey, I'm going to go home. I'm done for the night. We're packing it in. And it's time for everybody to go, basically. But the ladies, they didn't want to end the night, So we invited them over to Kevin's house, where we were staying during the weekend. Now, I only had one sip of a drink, so I was barely tipsy, and the party was like a 10-minute drive out. So we got back perfectly fine. And, we had to get ready for the ladies real quick. They were going somewhere, getting some food, probably spinning back to their crib, and they were coming straight back over. So we had to be on that, like, white on rice, In the room that we were staying in, the guest room, was actually the biggest pigsty in the world. We're high school teenagers. Like, this room is disgusting. It's not disgusting, but it's dirty. It's dirty. To the point, you couldn't see the floor that you were walking on. You were just kind of walking on, like, some clothes and shoes and shit like that. So it was just, like, very, very packed up in there. There'd be, like, blankets and stuff on the floor, too. Like, hey, you was walking on stuff. You had to be careful you wouldn't step on, like, a controller or some batteries or some shit. Now, we had to hit heavy cleaning mode. And we low-key got it all done within an hour, but I'll say that is the most chaotic hour of just running around, and even for just almost falling off, like, the bunk bed. Like, I almost fell off the bunk bed because I had to grab some trash on, like, a high shelf and, like, reach from the top bunk, basically. Scatter the bunk bed top. I'm like, oh, it's a cool little spot. We'll circle back to that. But it was crazy. It was like, shit, the floor was lava. It was, like, up on the furniture walking around and stuff. But by the time we finished up, we grabbed the bong. We were tired. We were like, fuck this. We're going to go on a walk on a nice spring, cool night in the neighborhood and just get zooted here real quick. And then we did that, hit a little rinse off after the fact because we knew what the mission was later. Now, time comes where, we're counting down the clock and it's like, Kevin, it's time to make a decision. We on the mission or we not on the mission? We gonna make this a 3-man mission, or are we gonna have to take a step back, settle with the second option here? Now, as I stated earlier, the other lady wasn't really rocking with him. Jay was not rocking too hard with Kevin, unfortunately. So me, Gabe, we sit him down. We're like, bro, we're sorry, but I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. And he's like, cool, he's cool. He's one of the most loyal boys out there, so he's like, yeah, it's fine. You guys are in the guest room anyways. I'm gonna go up into my room, basically. Ladies come at some point, and then at that point, we're all chilling. I'm playing Kino on Black Ops 3 on his Xbox, and then I'm on, like, round 28 or some shit We're going crazy. I'm fucking fighting off zombies. They're talking it up with Shorties. By the time I die, it's like round 32 or something. I got R sitting on my lap already. You know, E and Gade, they're comfy on the bottom bunk of the bed. You know, Jay just went home after she dropped off her friends. You know, Kevin's upstairs up in his room. It's official that this 3-man mission is a 2-man. We have all the puzzle pieces into place. Now it's just all about execution. So I finished the COD Zombies game. I'm dead. Did my juke and stuff, so she's a little impressed by all that. Oh man, you survived to round 30 on COD Zombies. I can't make it till past like round 12 type action. So, you know, we go to the top bunk. I got my boy Gabe on the bottom bunk. And you know how it goes, basically. 2-man mission was successful. You know, me and Gabe, we even hit up a little dap each other up from the top bunk to the bottom bunk action. You know how it be. But that whole night was just kind of like an experience I wanted to share, to say the least. And luckily, you know, I didn't get crabs on the occasion or nothing like that. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.